sort of amazing because since I've started doing this, then it's made me more local, a good connection with the locals, because nobody likes to see wood wasted. Nobody likes to see perfectly good wood going into the landfill. It's a crime unto the eye, throwing a nice piece of wood away. And each time I go and rescue a piece of wood, whether it be from an arborist that's doing some tree clearing for somebody, I personally don't cut trees and I don't use live wood for anything. I have recycled wood, which means if by its destiny it's dead, it's been taken down, or it's been removed, then I'm the person that comes along and takes that piece of wood and turns it into lumber and then puts it back out on the market as a commodity. It means it recycles that lumber. I had this program on the local, had some footage on the local television program, and it was about sustainability. And just the weeks after that, and that was years ago, they've shown it many, many times since then. But I said some things on that program similar to what we're saying now about how wood should be saved and should be used by people. It shouldn't be wasted and thrown away. It's a beautiful commodity. So I said to these, I said on this program about bringing new life to wood. The next weekend, a really special thing happened. A local guy came down in a brand new truck with his wife, elderly couple. He had a whole truckload of wood. He said, "Oh, I'd like to drop this wood off." And it was really quite valuable wood. And I said, well, that's good, but how much do you want for it? He said, "No, I don't want anything of the kind. I just wanted to donate the wood." And I said, "Well, why are you doing that?" And he said, "Well, because otherwise it would go in the landfill, and I know you'll do something with it. And we like those trees, and we feel connected with those trees, and so it's a pity for it to get all chewed up and just rotting away. So we'd like to just give you that wood." And they dropped off that wood. He even came back a few hours later with another load. It was like, "Oh my God, how much wood have you got?" But it was a really nice connection with the local people, because they realized that they could take their wood to some place, and rather than it going in the landfill and paying all the expense and the waste of the wood, they could bring it to somewhere. What eventually happened with that person is I ended up making some planks for him, made him a bench, and gave him a bench back for it. He was so happy because it was recompense for him bringing the wood down. It means it was just recycling. Here on the islands, we only have a certain limited resource available to us, and it's great if we can be self-sufficient, at least in wood. To buy wood from the mainland and to ship it here incurs so much waste and so much cost, and it's right here. The wood is right here. You can take an old piece of wood. There's an old piece of wood. Look at that. Nobody would even look at it. You throw it in. I'd burn this in my rubbish pile if I hadn't cleaned it up. There's an old piece of wood, and there's that same piece of wood finished. That's what's actually in the wood, and that's the exterior of how the wood looks before you've dealt with it. So it just shows that you can't take things by their appearance. You can see some old log sometimes, and you think, "Oh, there's nothing in it." But then you open it up and you have something like this. It's the growth of the tree. It's the rings of the tree. It's the life cycle of the tree that's written in the different parts of the grain. It's a wonderful piece of heritage of that tree. It would just be thrown away normally and tossed aside like it was nothing, looking like that. But a few hours of cleaning and suddenly it comes to that. And that's a wonderful art, because you haven't really got to do that much with the wood. You haven't got to craft that much. You just got to clean it up. That's all. And you have an old piece of wood. Here's an old piece of wood. Look at that old piece of wood. You think nothing about it. It's something you just burn and throw in the rubbish pile. Yet, when you clean the piece up and you cut it, you see what's inside the wood. It's gorgeous. It's just a matter of taking the wood and cleaning it, and there's the grain going the way that it should be going, and consequently the things you make from it end up in that same way. It's almost unlocking the grains of the wood. The beauty is already in the wood. All you have to do is mill it and plane it and make it so that it's usable, and suddenly there's the piece of art all by itself. Nobody can be a better artist than nature. Nature's the ultimate artist. Every human being is struggling to recreate nature, but obviously nature is the ultimate artist. And so if you just take that a raw substance, and you transform that raw substance into a thing of beauty by your own energy or by your own effort, then everybody's happy. The divine's happy because you're creating something that wouldn't have existed before. The Ein is happy because you've taken a log that would normally go into the landfill and cause a whole lot of rubbish, and you've transformed that into a thing of beauty. And for the person that's doing that, that also is a thing of beauty, because you can take something that is nothing and make it into something. It's just a matter of uncovering it, that's all.